the Sports Hangout, the only place where the takes are hot, the debates are hotter, and the only thing we take seriously around here is the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm your host, Scrap, the Sports Analyst. We're going to go ahead and dive into the biggest stories of Super Bowl 59. Pull up a chair, grab a cold one, and let's hang out. On today's episode of the Sports Hangout, we're just going to be discussing Super Bowl 59. But the biggest story of Super Bowl 59, other than Lil Wayne and Kendrick Lamar, we're not getting into that. We sticking to football. On this episode of the Sports Hangout, we're going to be talking about what are the odds that the Chiefs can pull off this three-peat. On top of that, what's some of the factors that can ensure that they do pull off the three-peat, or that's going to ensure that they don't? Also, what are some of the factors against the Chiefs completing the three-peat? And what are the things in their favor? All this on this episode of the Sports Hangout with Scrap, the Sports Analyst. Hang out. All right, so I'm going to call this take two and done, right? Two and done. Because in the NFL, that's exactly what it's been. It's been two and done, right? No team in NFL history has won 3 Super Bowls in a row. Now, keep in mind that I said Super Bowls, because later on down the line, you're going to realize it has been done before. 3 consecutive NFL championships have been won before by an NFL team. It was just before the Super Bowl era, right? So we're going to get into that. But it's been two and done. Now, keep in mind, winning 3 in a row in any sport is no easy task. Winning 3 championships in any professional sport is not easy. You got an entire league that's on your bumper after you win the first one, especially if they see that you have the talent to win more than one. So you got everybody gunning after you, right? So a three-peat in any professional sport has not been done in the last 20 years, right? So you can go with, so we can go back to when Jordan did it twice. He three-peated twice. That's why the Bulls, that's why that team is considered just one of the all-time greats, and that's why Jordan is considered one of the all-time greats. They three-peated twice. So that's crazy right there. Now you can, so other than the Bulls, you got the Lakers that three-peated from 2000 to 2002. You have the Yankees that three-peated between, 98 and 2000. And then there's the Islanders. They four-peated from 1980 to 83. So they four-peated 1980, 1981, 82, and 83. So it has been done in other sports. It has not been done in football in the Super Bowl era. The Green Bay Packers, the year before the Super Bowl era, won a Super Bowl. Then they won the first 2 Super Bowls. So technically, the Green Bay Packers won 3 championships in a row. It was only 2 Super Bowls, though, right? So that's why we say that there has never been 3 consecutive Super Bowls that have been won in the NFL. The NFL has had 3 consecutive titles won, 3 championship titles won, is won 3 Super Bowls. So it has not ever been done in the Super Bowl era. And that's why it's so much hype over the Kansas City Chiefs right now, because they have an opportunity to make history and be the first NFL team in the Super Bowl era to win 3 championships, 3 Super Bowls in a row, right? Up until now, it's been two and done. There have been a lot of, not a lot, but there's been a few teams that have almost pulled it off. And I'm going to tell you the difference between these teams and the Kansas City Chiefs. So you got, and this is, I'm gonna try to go in chronological order. So I guess the first time you got the Green Bay Packers, right? They won 2 in a row and then lost the third one. Okay, so we can start off. We can start from the beginning. The Green Bay Packers won 3 consecutive titles from 1965 to 1967. So they won in 65, 66, and 67, right? In chronological order, the next team would have been the Miami Dolphins. They won in 72 and 73. Couldn't pull it off in 74. So you got the Miami Dolphins that won in 72 and 73, couldn't pull it off in 74. After that, you have the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers won 74 and 75, right? Let's crush all the dates. So let's start from the beginning. You got the Green Bay Packers that won the year before the Super Bowl era and then the first 2 years into the Super Bowl era. After the Green Bay Packers would have been the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins won in 72 and 73. After that would be the first run of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers won 2 in a row, right? After the Pittsburgh Steelers, who would do it next? Well, after the Pittsburgh Steelers would probably be the Pittsburgh Steelers. They did it again. So the Pittsburgh Steelers won 2 in a row. Couldn't pull off that third one. After the Pittsburgh Steelers would be the San Francisco 49ers. I always liked Joe Montana, right? Can't necessarily say I was a San Francisco 49ers fan, but I always liked Joe Montana. Joe Montana was one of my favorite quarterbacks when I was a kid. And that's because the Chiefs quarterback sucked. But so when Joe Montana became a Kansas City Chief, that was the fulfillment of a lifelong dream, and he almost got us one. Anyway, so it would be the San Francisco 49ers that would have came next. After the San Francisco 49ers would have been the Dallas Cowboys. The San Francisco 49ers that pulled it off in the late 80s. So it's like 88, 89. And then, so Troy Aikman and them won 2 Super Bowls in a row in the early 90s. So you had Elway, Terrell Davis won it. After that would have been Brady and the Patriots. And they won 2. And actually, they won 3 championships. It just took them 4 years to do it. They didn't win 3 in a row, Brady and the Patriots. So they won 3 championships in 4 years, kind of like us. But there was a split. So now comes the Kansas City Chiefs, right? And the reason why we're different, I'm going to tell you the reason why we're different. And it really boils down, and I hate to put all the weight on Patrick Mahomes, but for real, he's the gas. He's the gas. He's the one that makes everybody believe. All the rest of the Super Bowl teams that won 2 in a row, and so you go back down to Green Bay and their championships. You only had to win 2 postseason games. You only had to win 2 games, period, to either win a title. So you win this one, you go to the Super Bowl, and you win a title. The similarities between the Packers, the Steelers, the Cowboys, and the Broncos, and the Patriots, and the 49ers, the similarities between all of those teams, they were happy to get there. They were shocked as hell when they won back-to-back. And I think the only team that I remember talking about that ever talked about 3 in a row was the Dallas Cowboys, right? The Dallas Cowboys was the only ones that I can remember even mentioning back to back to back, or three-peating. I don't remember the 49ers. I'm not saying that they didn't. I'm saying I don't remember. I don't remember the 49ers talking about three-peating. I don't remember the Broncos talking about three-peating. I don't even remember the Patriots talking about three-peating, right? Pat and them been talking about this since they won the first one. When they won the first one, it was, man, we gonna three-peat. Nobody's ever won three. Pat and them was thinking back to back when they won the first one. They was thinking three-peat when they won the second one. It was like that was the goal. The goal was for them to win 3 in a row. That was the goal. Let's get this first one. All right, let's get the second one. All right, let's get this third one. I'm telling you, after they win this one, I promise you they're going to be talking about winning 4 in a row. I promise you. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind that's the kind of confidence these dudes got, right? That's what makes the Kansas City Chiefs special. They plot and they plan. Their goal is excellence. Their goal is to make history. They are planning for it. It's not a surprise when they get there, right? It's a surprise to everybody else that doubted them and hated them, but it's not a surprise to anybody on the Kansas City Chiefs, let alone Patrick Mahomes. If don't nobody else on that team believe, guaranteed 15 do. So that being said, just realize it takes a special team to have those kind of expectations straight out the gate. You in your first win, you already thinking about 3 before you even hit 2, right? It takes a special team to actually thrive under those expectations. Now, just think, after all of the teams that failed after 2 was 2 and done, right? The Kansas City Chiefs come back. Okay, let's back up, start over. Most of those teams that were 2 and done came out in their 3rd season and flopped. Like they may have had good seasons, they may have rounded out and went 10-6 in like the common 16 game Super Bowl era. They went 10-6, so I'm specifically talking about the New England Patriots. In order for the New England Patriots to come out, they came out and I think they started the season 5-6 that year, and they in a 3rd Super Bowl run. They came out like 6-5, ended up the season 10-6, and didn't get first round bye, didn't get none of that. Lost in the first round of the playoffs, right? And they lost to Denver, who went on to get smacked by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Pittsburgh went on to win the Super Bowl, right? They didn't even make it to the AFC Championship game, let alone to the Super Bowl, right? The Kansas City Chiefs, after they won 2 in a row with targets on their back, everyone in the NFL. I don't care if you only won 1 game last year. I don't care if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't care who you are. You came out, if you were on the schedule to play the Chiefs, you played the Chiefs like it was your Super Bowl. Period, point blank. The Chiefs got everybody's best game every single game. Even the games we had like 2 or 3 games within 10 days. The Kansas City Chiefs played every single day of the week, I think, except Tuesday. We played Monday night. We played on a Wednesday. We played on a Thursday. We played on a Friday. We played on a Saturday. And of course, we played on Sundays. Tuesday was the only game the Kansas City Chiefs did not play a game this season. That is unprecedented. That has never happened before, but nobody talks about that, right? On top of that, again, the Kansas City Chiefs had a target on their back every single week. Every single team gave the Kansas City Chiefs their best game. Here's the kicker, though. This is what all the teams didn't realize. We knew we had a target on our back. The problem is, y'all got a target on your chest. We know we got a target on our back. Y'all didn't know y'all had a target on your chest. We gunning for everybody, and we was built for it. We was ready for it, right? The rest of the teams that went 2 and done, they came out and stalled in their third Super Bowl run, didn't even make it to the AFC or the NFC championship. The Kansas City Chiefs came out and went 15 and 1. 15 and 1. Now, I know what you, I know. I don't count that game against the Broncos, because if the starters would have started, we'd be 16 and 1. That game didn't matter to us, right? We could care less about that last game. We'd already locked up the number 1 seed. We needed the rest. We had to rest our starters because we had injuries. That gave us 2 weeks to heal, right? So all y'all that's saying that the Kansas City Chiefs put their second and third string in to play Denver so Denver could get in, that means that Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals wouldn't get in. We could have cared less. We don't care. The Kansas City Chiefs don't care who's on the other side of the ball. It doesn't matter. I don't know why y'all think Pat's scared of Burrow. I don't know why y'all think Andy Reid is scared of the Bengals. Are you smoking something? Listen, there was no team that the Kansas City Chiefs are afraid of, right? Whoever's on the other side of the ball, that's who's getting to work. And speaking of things that we had to overcome, we had to overcome a plethora of injuries starting from last year. Our number 1 wide receiver, our ex-receiver, our number 1 receiver from last year, out the whole season, right? Rasheed Rice carried us as a rookie, right? Didn't get to play this season. So this is why the Kansas City Chiefs proved that the front office is just smarter than everybody else. They go out, they go up in the draft, get Xavier Worthy. What does he do? The exact same thing Rasheed Rice did last year. He just did it better. Rasheed struggled early in the season and then came on late season and into the playoffs, right? Worthy came out. You could see hands. Boy got hands. And we not even gonna mention that world-class, burn over the top Tyreek-esque speed, right? So we had to get over Rasheed Rice not being there. We replaced that with Xavier Worthy. All right, so we got all the key injuries that the Kansas City Chiefs had to overcome throughout the course of the year. So you can start off with one of the Super Bowl heroes from last year, Mecole Hardman. Mecole Hardman was out with a knee injury. You had the first down machine, Jody Fortson, our tight end, down with a knee injury. Jawan Taylor he was hurt with a knee injury. Who else? And then, like I said, you had Rasheed Rice, knee injury. Then you had Joe Thuney that had a chest injury. He sustained that in the Buffalo game. Then you have and then Isaiah Pacheco. He was down for most of the season. Kareem Hunt had to come in. Kareem Hunt balled out for us. Kareem Hunt got stronger as the season progressed, right? By the time the playoffs Kareem Hunt was in full stride. Salute Kareem Hunt, man, for your second time around in Kansas City. You got Hollywood Brown that was injured most of the year. Came back right on time. You had Charles Omenihu that had an injury. You had CJ, Chris Jones. Chris Jones was hurt. And while Omenihu and Chris Jones were huge injuries, I'm going to tell you, two of the biggest injuries to me that the Kansas City Chiefs had to overcome was Harrison Butker. That was a huge injury, you know. It may not seem like it, but your place kicker, your field goal kicker, is that's a huge injury when he's one of the best in the NFL. You know, he went down with a meniscus tear. Then I think the biggest injury that the Kansas City Chiefs suffered all season long was when Jalen Watson went down. When Jalen Watson went down, oh my God. Like, Jalen Watson going down and us not having sustainable left tackle protection was two of the biggest things that the Kansas City Chiefs had to overcome this season. Jalen Watson was the help for Trent McDuffie, right? You had Trent McDuffie on one side that can lock it in, and then you had Jalen Watson that was locking it in on the other side. They were the formidable corners, you know, that could cover and hit, right? When Jalen Watson went down and we had to go to Johnson, oh my God. Oh. So there was no legitimate backup for Jalen Watson when he went down. Like, you either had Johnson that was getting beat deep. I forget what the other kid's name was. Johnson and Williams. One of them was getting beat every time. Like, Johnson, this dude got beat when we played. Who was we playing? Was it Pittsburgh? When he got beat by the same pass twice? Oh my God, in key situations. So after Jalen Watson went down, we did not have anybody formidable that could hold down the side opposite of Trent McDuffie. So it's like Trent McDuffie was just out there on an island, and we running people out. And I mean, let's just face it, like, Justin Reed is not a cover safety. He's not. Justin Reed is a hitter. That's what he is. He helps tremendously in the run game, but Justin Reed is not a cover safety. He is a hitter, right? So if you got Johnson and Reed on the same side, oh my God, just throw it that way. Just throw it that way. It was going to be a catch. It was going to be a catch for some significant rack. You're going to get some significant rack after you completed on that side if you catch both of them. So that side was getting, like, the side opposite of Trent McDuffie was just getting picked on. So when Jalen Watson came back, oh my God, that was significant. Jalen Watson returning had bigger positive ramifications for the Kansas City Chiefs than most anybody could really comprehend. But honestly, I would say other than the scheduling, other than the injuries, the reason why the Kansas City Chiefs are in the position that they are in right now is Big Red. Andy Reid is a freaking genius. That is why Andy Reid is the winningest head coach in not one but two different organizations. This is really the Andy Bowl for real, because he was the winningest coach in Eagles history. He is the winningest coach in Kansas City history, right? And so, and I'm going to tell you what I'm talking about. All Chiefs fans know what I'm about to say. The most genius coaching decision. Andy Reid is a genius. But the single most genius coaching move that Andy Reid pulled off this season was to take your all-pro left guard and move him to left tackle. Every left tackle is either getting blew by or getting beat. I don't care if it was DJ Humphries. I don't care who it was. They went out and got DJ Humphries. He played 1 week, was getting beat, and then got hurt. Had the nerve to get hurt, you know? So what does Andy Reid do? Who gets the bright idea to move your all-pro left guard to left tackle, a position that man has never played before? And what happened? Held it down. Joe Thuney held that left tackle slot down. So now Patrick Mahomes is going from running for his life after 2 or 3 seconds of dropping back in the pocket to having a little bit of time to see more than your first read. Now, first read's not there. Second read's not there. Oh, there's my third read. You know, you got time to go through your progressions when you have time in the pocket. But if you got faith in your left tackle, if you got faith that all you have to watch is your right side, the side that you can see, that makes life a whole lot easier. Roll the pocket, and you're gonna have some time, right? Joe Thuney held it down, and that was a genius coaching move by Big Red Andy Reid. And the reason why that was such a big move is because the O-line, let's not do that, because other people have done that. And I will be the first one to be like, nah, it ain't the O-line. It ain't the O-line. We got the best interior 3 in football. You know, we got the best interior 3 between our center, our left and right guards. We got the best interior 3 in football, right? It's the damn tackles. It's the damn tackles. Between right tackle and left tackle, that's where all of the chaos was ensuing. Left guard, right guard, center, best in the NFL. Right tackle, left tackle, suspect at least. Suspect at least. So moving Joe Thuney to moving Joe Thuney to left tackle was just that was genius, and it helped out the O-line, because the thing about Jawan Taylor can hold, right? His main thing was getting a offsides call every other play for jumping too early, right? But he has shown that he can hold for a moment, and for some reason he does it in pretty big spots. So he can hold, but that left side, God. All right, so what's it going to take to three-peat? First, you got to get over all of your difficulties, injuries. You got to get over your lack of personnel at certain positions that's not injured. You have to have great coaching, and you got to believe that you can do it. Teams that call it from the beginning automatically know they can do it, or they wouldn't have said it to begin with. All they're doing now, speaking it into existence, right? And that's what the Kansas City Chiefs did. This is a special team, and the fact that that they've had so much to overcome. We had to overcome all of the fans that are not Kansas City Chiefs fans getting all riled up about some of the calls we get. You know, we got to deal with the refs come to Super Bowl, because if anybody in Chiefs Kingdom thinks that the refs have not been paying attention and that the refs are not going to call this game super tight, you tripping. The refs is going to be on guard so that they are not to blame, so that the refs don't want to be anywhere in the mix. They're liable to let the Eagles get off a lot of stuff, which is gonna be harmful to the Kansas City Chiefs, because the Eagles already got the number one defense they got the number one defense in the NFL, right? So you put that with the fact that the refs is like, okay, well, we're gonna let the Eagles get away with some stuff. Come on, man. You know, so the deck is already stacked against us, but this is such a special team. They are going to show the entire world why they deserve to three-peat. All right, that's all for this episode of the Sports Hangout. Thanks for hanging with me. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Tell your family, tell your friends. The Sports Hangout is on YouTube. And until next time, thanks for hanging out. And remember, may your team always win, unless they play in my team. Let's go. Kansas City Chiefs, Super Bowl champions, Super Bowl 59.